And welcome back to Saturday Agenda. I'm Joe Pinion. Well, this past week, the Supreme Court just issued two big rulings with far-reaching consequences. Want to review with John Carlo. He's the legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation and co-host of SCOTUS 101. Are also joined by Thane Rosenbaum. He is a distinguished university professor at Touro College. He's also the author of Saving Free Speech from Itself. Good afternoon to you both. John Carlo, I'll start with you. We're talking about religious freedom. The liberal justices joined with conservatives in a 9-0 ruling that an adoption agency in Philadelphia could refuse service to same-sex couples. Take up that ruling for us.
Yeah, well, it comes down to this sort of fundamental American principle of live and let live, right? And that boils down to two ideas. Nobody ought to be discriminated against, but neither should anyone be forced to adopt or forced to agree with beliefs they don't. And when you bear those two principles in mind, Fulton, the name of this case, is a simple one. No LGBTQ people were ever discriminated against, nor would they ever be in Philadelphia, because if you want to adopt or foster a child, there are a myriad state and nonprofits who will approve your application. But the Catholic...
Go ahead. Sorry, good.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, I wanted to get Thane to jump in here because obviously, this was a pretty definitive ruling here. But what impact do you think it will have?
Well, Joe, as you said, unanimous ruling, 9-0. That hardly ever happens with the Supreme Court. For all the talk of the Trump justices forming a 6-3 block, you didn't need that block. You had even liberal justices essentially saying that you cannot interfere with the religious liberty of people, and that secular laws that deal with, in this case, local anti-discrimination laws, cannot override a Catholic agency's religious freedom, and that they shouldn't be required to engage in adoptions of same-sex couples because it violates the tenets of their beliefs. And Philadelphia has other options. They contract with many other entities that would service same-sex couples.
Now, John Carlo, I want to pivot a little bit because in addition to this ruling, there was also a ruling on Obamacare, 7-2, stating that Obamacare is here to stay. This is the third attempt to go to the courts and get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Is this really an indication that perhaps the court has made it very clear, if you want to get rid of Obamacare, then take it to the legislature?
Well, this opinion was decided on what's called standing grounds. And standing is a fundamental question of who has access to the courts, and is there a real case in controversy that a court is constitutionally able to decide. And what the court said is that the states and individuals who brought the suit haven't actually suffered any real harm. Now, the import of that is that they can go back to the lower courts and try again, but it's unlikely in the end that they will be able to get access to the courts in the first place to bring this claim.
It makes a lot of sense to the average person. Now, Thane, there was, to your colleague's point, much to do about this new conservative majority. Liberals acted as if the walls of Jericho were going to come tumbling down, that the rule of law as we knew it was compromised. Are there any things in the coming weeks and months that you think could strain credulity for the left as we have some more contentious issues coming down the pipe?
Well, Joe, the term ends in a few weeks. So we're going to see a bunch of cases pop out, and then the court shuts down for July and August and September. So we're expecting some cases. There's a voting rights case out of Arizona that really fit into what just happened, where states changed and created different voter restrictions. In Arizona, they did restrictions on not voting in the wrong precinct or how ballots get gathered. There's also an NCAA student athletes case that everybody's interested in. That is, can college athletes get paid for the use of their images and likeness on mugs and T-shirts? Or is it required that amateurism means they can never profit while they're a student athlete? And then there's a very interesting case, free speech case, dealing with whether students have First Amendment protections to engage in social media off campus, if they're writing about something or posting something that's going to cause trouble on campus. And then lastly, there's a very important case out of California dealing with charities and whether charities are obligated to provide the names of their donors. So we're expecting those four. I don't think we're expecting necessarily any more unanimous decisions, but it has been a productive term, Joe, and an enormously interesting one. And we still haven't really closed the book on what Amy Coney Barrett's first year looked like.
All right, well, give the kids the money. That's my vote. But we'll talk about that another time. But John Carlo Canaparo and Thane Rosenbaum, God bless you both. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Joe.